The UN leaked a Saudi threat to assassinate an official to make sure the killing didn't happen.
Here's a summary of the article.
United Nations officials informed French and American intelligence services last year that a Saudi official appeared to threaten the life of a UN researcher investigating the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, sources told Insider. So the UN and the official, angry at the lack of action, leaked the threat to the media this week, according to two European officials familiar with the incident. Agnes Calamar, an independent French human rights investigator working for the UN, has aggressively investigated the 2018 murder of Khashoggi in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, much to the dismay of Saudi officials. The threat, which the UN confirmed the day after Calamar disclosed it to The Guardian, involved the Saudi chairman for the Human Rights Commission, Awad al-Awad. He told UN officials at least twice that if Calamar did not ease off her investigation and anti-Saudi rhetoric, there were people willing to kill her. The accounts of the meeting are true. The Saudis wanted to pressure the UN to back off the investigation, and he threatened Calamar to her UN colleagues, said a French official who had been briefed on the matter but refused to be identified, speaking about international diplomacy. 14 months later, despite believing the threat was real, it appears Calamar and the UN were not satisfied with the official reactions from France and the US, said a Belgian police official who works closely with international criminal investigations, such as the Khashoggi case. First, it draws attention to the threat to the extent it would almost be impossible for Saudi to further insult or target Calamar.
This post received a score of 5,800, with an upvote ratio of 98%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The accounts of the meeting are true. The Saudis wanted to pressure the UN to back off the investigation, and he threatened Calamar to her UN colleagues, said a French official who had been briefed on the matter but refused to be identified, speaking about international diplomacy. I will not explain the steps that France took to ensure her safety because these are not public matters, but action was taken.
The action was French officials pressed F in the chat. Laugh. French officials after the journalist had been a victim of a political killing. Z tragedy was not her untimely death, but Z fact she never truly lived. Quote,
I think this is wonderful precedent. The UN should start telling the media of every threat they find.
The chairman of the Human Rights Commission threatened a journalist with murder.
He's a honeypot.
And yet everyone in the West will continue to ally themselves with Saudi Arabia.
Because geopolitics is about interests, not morality.
But you have to use morality to convince your people, whether true or not. The American government is extremely aware of this.
Of course, human rights abuses are only covered exhaustively when political enemies do it. The megaphones mysteriously vanish when allies do the same. The dichotomy is hilariously obvious when the former become the latter, or vice versa. Because it's not about human rights. It never was.
Who remembers that Saddam was once a political ally and then a political enemy of the United States?
I'm getting pretty fucking sick of these motherfucking Saudis. I'm getting pretty motherfucking sick of these politicians that continue to support them.
I'm getting tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Why does it always have to be motherfucking? Why not fatherfucking? I'm an equal opportunity fucker.
This guy fucks.
The motherfucking Saudis.
I'll be fascinated as to what the Saudi plans are as renewable energy continues to increase and their worth shrinks as people move away from oil. Sure, not happening quickly, but we are moving that way.
That plan is very much public and has its own website. Basically, it's use oil money to buy stakes in company everywhere, Uber, etc., develop religious tourism.
I don't understand how some of these fellas don't get arrested at the airport.
Same way the Saudi 9/11 terrorists didn't get stopped at the airport. Dear Saudi Arabia, remember the Arab Spring? Remember Gaddafi being dragged through the streets after being raped with a bayonet by his own people? Who do you think got that ball rolling, and why would you think you are the exception to the rule? Maybe do as you were told and sell us oil like good little boys before the Western powers bring freedom to your country.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.